The Ibu Movement partners women from around the world to disrupt poverty and fashion change through the work of art. Today, I talk one-on-one with the founder of this movement, Susan Walker, for this edition of Quintin's Close-Ups. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel and like Quintin's Close-Ups on Facebook. Susan Walker, welcome to Quintin's Close-Ups.
Thank you. It's just a joy to be here with you.
Oh, I appreciate it greatly. Needless to say, you are the founder and the chief creative officer for IBU Movement. And of course, as you know, Susan, the IBU Movement partners with women around the world, disrupting poverty and fashioning change through the art of their hands. So tell me, Miss Susan, what's new, what's now with the IBU Movement?
Well, Quintin, Ibu is a Malay word that means a woman of respect. And so when I was in Indonesia many years ago, now 13 or 14 years ago, and I learned that it's an honorific, kind of like ma'am, we might say in the South. So it's a way of addressing women with respect. And many artisans that I had begun to meet and learn from are struggling to use skills that they already have, amazing skills in their hands, and to create income from that. So I wanted women everywhere to feel that they had the respect of their peers, their community, and the worldwide community that actually valued their goods, these cultural traditions that they were carrying in their hands. So we've been doing that now for 12 years. And for the past 10 years, a store on King Street offers the goods. Yes. So right there in King, we are down in the lower end on the second floor because we have a studio in the back where we are working to collaborate in designs with these different women's groups. We are now working with 100 groups in 50 different countries. And what we see ourselves doing is being a bridge to bring their skills to this market. And just because someone is a very talented artisan doesn't mean they understand yet what this particular market might want to purchase of their goods. And so we try to really honor their tradition, but also help them translate it for this market. So that's the background of what we've been doing. And Ibu is a nonprofit. So we also do workspaces for these women. We do training and, offer them the kinds of tools that they need. Each group is different. So we have grants that go out. And then we also have this design collaboration. Then we take trips. We take a lot of our donors to meet the artisans. They love that sort of hands-on. You get to see. We just went to Peru last fall, to Uzbekistan, and then coming up this fall, we're going to Thailand and Laos and Cambodia. So that's the chance to really have a cultural exchange and get behind the tourist, curtain and really get to know these women and what they're doing with their lives because they're remarkable. I could keep going. You want me to keep going? I mean, we have events every March for International Women's Day. We just had the Waka Waka, which was celebrating women in Africa. And we're already planning for next year. I think we're going to focus on India and a festival of color because they have the Howley Festival, which is their festival of color right around the same time. And when we do this, we have our global champions. We bring women in and really highlight them and also highlight some of their collections. So we're really excited about that. We also just received a grant from Bank of America to begin an Ibu Atelier and go deep with 10 different groups and sort of really work with them on scaling, not just to sell to Ibu, but to other designers and retailers as well. So we're just in the beginning stages of that's very exciting. And then just continuing on with we're now going into our 11th year at the shop. And so we offer, the goods there, and gosh, I could go on. But let me know more. What do you want to hear about?
And I want to ask you this, Ms. Susan. So what is the biggest difference about your movement from the time you started to right now?
Well, we were just a scrappy little startup, and I've really felt called into this work and very drawn to do it, but I was just learning as I went, right? I didn't have a business background, and so we've just grown, and now we are just in the last year or two, we've hired a CEO who's come in who has retail experience. Beth Lynn is her name, and she is really structuring Ibu so that we can take these artisan groups, to the next level and really get them out into the world in a bigger way, because that's what every one of our artisan partners tells us. They say, what do you need the most? And they say, we need more sales. We need, sales is we have the skills,
Right.
we have the training, we just need to get our product out there. So we're working on how can we increase sales for them. So this CEO has structured it in a much more sustainable way. And I have moved over. I'm now president of the board and the creative director and founder, so that I still am extremely involved, but having a real professional running the business is a great help. So I'm still, very much a part of it.
Oh,
And so how
absolutely.
has it changed? Well, it's changed. It's grown. That's what it is. It's grown.
Right.
We've learned who our market is because, the market tells you what they want. And so we have really, in terms of our customers, um, begun to, sort of shape around the direction that they also give us. And we've also grown our nonprofit arm. So our donor base has grown, and what we've been able to do for different groups around the world it's really beginning to show the results, um, for the different projects that we've invested in.
Absolutely. So let me ask you this, Ms. Susan. What are the customers' wants and what are the customer needs right now when it comes to the movement?
The customer, you know what? I think that women really, first of all, everyone is understanding that we have to dress in a more sustainable fashion, because the fashion industry is one of the second largest contributor to the pollution of the world. And so to really think of purchasing items that have significance and meaning and are sort of classic lifetime investments that have been made in completely sustainable ways, that, working with the earth, because, those women have always worked with the spinning and the weaving and the dyeing from the fibers in the field. And so I think customers are looking for something they can really feel good about wearing, that says what they value and not just what the latest trend is,
Right.
that makes them also feel a connection to the maker. So we really try to connect people to, they understand when they're purchasing something, who made this, who made your clothes, and where are they and why and what's their name and everything. And that is really deeply meaningful. And so then it's a sense of belonging to women around the world. It's really that's when it really feels like a movement, like I am doing something that creates a network that, it's a web, it's a worldwide web. So I think that's what customers are looking for, is more. I think the era of just the fast fashion, and you wear it two or three times and put it in the landfill. That can't keep on going, and people know that.
Yeah. And Ms. Susan, I was just thinking about this when you were actually speaking about it. But what are those trends that you and your team are keeping an eye on when it comes to fashion?
Well, we are very much aware of fashion trends, but we aren't a slave to them, because many groups that we work with, I mean, color, for instance, is very cultural, and there are ways in which we want to honor and preserve color choices, and let the beauty of it be understood and seen by this market. On the other hand, you know, we also have to speak to what women are willing to wear, right? So it's a balance. It's really a
Yes.
balance. So the trends, obviously, things are getting more casual. Everybody's more casual, and yet I still believe in a sense of occasion, that when we, like, Spletter's about to come up, So when I go into a beautiful stiletto event, I don't want to see people dressed in the same thing they wore to the grocery store that morning, or the workout. I think why not? I mean, these actors and musicians on the stage have put their life blood into this work and this art that they are presenting. I want to honor them too. To me, being able to dress for a sense of occasion it's another sign of respect. So while we listen to those trends, and we do have some denim and some new indigo things coming up for the fall. Still, when our holiday collection comes out, it will be, rich colors, layers. I love cultural layers and understanding and depth. So I'm not just flitting from one trend to the next. It's that doesn't interest me.
Right. So, what is the cultural differences when it comes to fashion?
Cultural differences. Gosh, there's so many pockets within
Yes.
women's fashion. And it's really hard to be all things to all people. In fact, we can't be. So then it's sort of like, well, what is the Ibu look or the Ibu style? And I would say some of our defining words we're bold. Like we want women, we want to find the boldness in women to wear something that's really striking and makes a statement, has a voice.
Mm.
So we're really not for people who want to just be wallflowers. That's not we're not appealing to them. And so bold, colorful, people really associate us with color. Even though we always have neutrals, still they really associate some of our vivid colors. And sophisticated and refined and beautiful. I want people to say that's beautiful because these textiles, I'm a weaver myself, and so I understand the complexity of these skills that goes into this, and the embroidery that is from around the world is just incredible, or the beadwork. And so I think it's quite elegant and beautiful.
Absolutely. And I might be redundant, Miss Susan, but what statement is Ebu making with this particular movement?
Oh, we are saying number one, that women around the world, particularly women in what we call the global south, have been overlooked. They are the most powerful resource, overlooked resource in the world today, I believe, because they are the heart of their communities. And when women are able to be paid for skills that they've carried for generations, this is grandmother to mother to daughter skills that they have. And when those skills are recognized and they're paid, everything changes. So they send their children, including their daughters, to school. They put their money towards healthcare. They become voices in their community. And in some cases, they run for public office. They are changing the nature of their communities. They are bringing in clean water. They are growing gardens. They are building schools. So women invest in their families and communities when they have money. And so, gosh, now I've forgotten your question. But
Oh,
what? How does this? What is the
yeah.
impact?
Yeah. What statement are you going to make here with
Yeah.
your movement?
So if you were to go to Europe and you would see artisanal product, maybe a leather product by a man in Italy, you expect it to be expensive. But if you go to what we used to call a developing country or a country in the global south, and you see an artisanal product made by women, you expect it to be cheap. I am here to change that. Ibu's statement is no. These women's skills are just as complex, just as fine as the man in Europe. They are absolutely fine, complex skills that deserve to be paid at the same level. So our statement is, let's honor these women, let's honor their skills, let's honor their work and their values and learn from them, let them lead, let them come to the table and have a voice in their communities. The world is has has a lot of need right now. There's a lot of people who want to throw up their hands and say, wow, we're just in a mess. But in fact, women around the world are doing constructive things. And the more that we can give them a place at the table, I believe the world will get better, that they know how to work with the land, they know how to collaborate with each other, they know how to make peace. So this is not just about clothes. This is about women really our subtitle, our tagline is power in women's hands. Women have this power already in their hands because it's not us empowering them. That's not it at all. They already have skills and power, as do women in this culture too. We have power because we can spend our money on things made by these women, and that really makes a difference for them. So it's that I think that is the statement. Let's bring these women to the world table and let them help us lead into a better tomorrow.
What other skills and power do you want to put in women's hands 5, 10 years from now, Miss Susan?
Well, okay, just saying they already have power in their hands. They already do. It's our recognizing it and being able to pay them for it. So as they are recognized and as they are living into that power, having a chance to really live it out in their lives, in 5 to 10 years, I want them to be leading in their communities, in their school, whether it's some things I mentioned, building schools, teaching in schools, leading in their different communities, in their local offices. I have examples of, say, community, little villages in India where the men always sat up at the front and the women sat in the back. Well, it's totally reversed now. The women sit at the front because they've been able to earn the money and they're making new and different decisions. And the men said, okay, have at it. And they're letting women bring their resources into that leadership position. In Africa and Kenya, we work with groups who are in conservancies, and they are beginning to really have a voice. They understand how important it is to preserve the wildlife that brings tourism, that also helps support their communities. So there's just a lot of ripple effect from women who once you have income, you have a voice, you can make changes and really see yourself. And that's part of what we do in our storytelling and in bringing some of these artisans here, is to let them see themselves through the eyes of women in Charleston who say, wow, what you're doing is amazing and remarkable, and we want to celebrate you. And when they see that and they realize that, I've had some say to me, I never thought I was a leader, but then they see through our eyes, see themselves, and then they realize the power that they do have, and their vision even expands to a greater degree. They're really amazing.
Okay. I know you've been on this movement for quite a while. You travel to a lot of, foreign countries. When did you get your power, Miss Susan?
Wow, what a question, Quintin. Wow. I think I grew up in the South in a long time ago, and um, and it was not something that I learned early. In fact, I learned the opposite. So for me, it's been a lifelong process of really learning to trust my own inner calling, my own instincts, my intuition. I describe it often as a thread that I have followed through my life that has led me to the next step. And as I do that, as I follow that thread, I feel I have lived into my true life. And that is where I think power is. It's when we can really live our truest lives, who we are, what we came in this world to do. And as we are really in line with that and flow with that, that's where the power leads us to do things that we didn't even know we could do.
What skill sets, Miss Susan, that you want to take a hold of next when it comes to your future?
Well, I would love to write about this whole process. So I think I have a book in me. I'm working on it. And that is really, I love to write and I love to tell the stories and maybe a couple of books, because I would also love to create a book that has a place for these women that are partners to also tell their story. So being able to get the storytelling out there is you are a storyteller and you allow these stories to have a place and live. And I think that is what is next for me too, while still staying very much
Yes.
involved with Ibu.
Oh, absolutely. You know a lot of local women here in Charleston. I know a lot of local women here in Charleston who
Yes,
have made a difference over the past decades. And I
yes.
don't want to pick any favorites, but which one of those local women inspires you through this movement?
Oh gosh. The first person who just came to mind is a woman who was the co-chair of our last event, and that's Carolyn Murray.
Oh, yes.
Uh, Car- Carolyn inspires me because of her grace and her graciousness and her power and her sense of self and her confidence and her generosity and just her willingness to get behind so many different groups, so many different movements, and give herself and give her support. It is truly inspiring.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. Oh, yes. I've known her personally since 1996 when I was an intern at Channel 5 around the corner here on East Bay Street when they were on East Bay Street. And just look at how she has tremendously changed the community over those years.
She has. She is a wonder. And I think no matter what you do, there is a way to be in your work or in your parenting or whatever it is. There's a way to do that where your impact is it radiates. So you don't have to have a particular type of job. Any job allows for the person to really if you bring yourself to it like Carolyn does, and then it spills over far beyond her job, right? In her life, that we can really have an impact on so many people in a beautiful way.
Oh,
Yeah.
very much so. And
And
hats off to
building
Carolyn.
community,
Oh,
building
yes.
connection.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
What connection do you want to build next with the EB movement?
Um, I see a whole worldwide web of women. And what I really love is when they begin to connect with each other. So our donors and our customers begin now after 10 years. They now know each other. So it's not just they're friends of mine and it's not just all through us, it's amongst them. And then the artisan leaders as they come to Charleston and they meet each other, they are just blown away and they bond immediately because they thought we're out there, we're over in Pakistan doing this work, and you're in Haiti, and you're down in Nigeria, and all are they're all doing this work, and they say we don't know anybody else doing this. We feel kind of like we're this strange duck, and yet when we come together, we they really learn from each other, and so I think just building that network of goodness and support and respect is so important right now when we have so many divisions in the world. And so to be able to nurture those connections is that's really important. And so, yeah, that's what I want us to continue to do.
Susan Walker with the EB movement. Thank you so much for your time. And again, welcome to Quintin's Close Ups.
Thank you so much, Quintin. It's been a joy to talk to you.
Likewise.